Hi, today I will explain about the open-ended lab number 4 on e-transfer. So this will be for EDJ28003 Thermo-Fluids. Okay, there are two objectives for this open-ended lab. So open-ended lab, you normally will be required to come up with your own experiments and your own lab module as well as the result, and you need to submit so that we can evaluate. And for open-ended lab, the marks will be higher. So each lab will contribute to 5 marks. So please do it properly so that you will get the marks and you won't lose any marks. Okay, so there are two objectives. The first objective is to investigate the heat transfer processes related to conduction and convection in the proposed experiment. So conduction, we know the heat transfer through a physical contact, so between one material to another material. So you can investigate the heat transfer process in the conduction. And convection is based on the surrounding, the air movement related to that. So you try to find an experiment that can involve conduction or convection, and you need to develop the module to do the experiment. And the objective number 2 is to compare the experimental parameters with the theoretical parameters for the measurement. Okay, so the experiment that you select, so you must be able to calculate something using the formula given for heat transfer, as well as you can measure it, so using a thermometer or whatever things around you. Okay, so that are the uh, two objective for this experiment. Okay, so we will quickly go through the instructions. Okay, so you are required to choose the appropriate experiment for heat transfer investigation. The lab report will be evaluated individually. So you need to find your own experiments. You can go through YouTube's, you can go through other materials. So you can, there are a lot of material related to heat transfer, and heat transfer experiment are generally not so difficult because it's something that happen naturally every day. So you just need to identify and do it properly. And this lab report, it will be evaluated individually. So it's not a group one. So you need to prepare it in a proper way so that it can be evaluated individually. So make sure the experiment can be conducted using available material and set up at home or your hostel. So please don't buy anything. So we don't encourage you to buy anything to do the experiment because it is something that happens naturally. You just need to find certain gadgets. So maybe it can be your smartphone, or maybe because of COVID-19, there are a lot of temperature sensors, okay, or thermometers, digital thermometers, so you can try to borrow. So please don't buy anything, don't waste your money. Okay, and some of the application are given in the lecture notes, and many experiment related to e-transfer are given in the internet and especially in the YouTube. So just try to select the proper one and do it. So that's what we are expecting. Okay, and number 3, so you are required to create the lab module for the experiment. So as I say, so you need to choose the experiment, you need to come up with the lab module first, then only you do the experiment. Okay, so your lab module must consist all these elements, title, objectives. Objective is given in this, so you can just use back. So introduction and theory, some are given in your instruction, and you just need to add more to it. To it. And then the equipments used, or the apparatus, the experimental procedures, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and data and result. Okay, so what you got? So some calculation involved. Surely there will be a calculation because you have a theoretical value to calculate. So you just whatever calculation that you use in this experiment, so you just put it in the calculation column. Then you have a question and answer. Questions are given in this instruction, so you just need to answer that. So then discussion and conclusion. Okay, so for D, draw the assembly diagram for the experiment. So meaning you need to draw the sketch, or you can just take a photo, then make sure you label it. Okay, so make sure you label the diagram, then give all the description and specification of the experimental setup. So you may use the actual photo or experimental setup with dimensions. So put the dimension correctly. So the distances, so the lengths, everything must be there. And all the assumptions that you use in the experiment, because physics are full of a lot of assumptions involved. So try to put or try to write down all the assumptions that you made in the experiment. Okay, so that's on the number 4. Number 5 for E, prepare the detailed experimental procedure involved from the start to the end of experiment. Okay, so make sure all the detail. So step 1, step 2, step 3 until the end must be there. Okay, so that anyone when you read your report, they can do it again. Okay, based on the instruction that you have given. In number F, select at least 4 situations for the transfer investigation. So for 2 will be on natural conduction, convection. Okay, uh, because you have at least 4. So 2 must be from the whatever things that happen naturally. Okay, another 2 is based on the force conduction. So force conduction you can see in your lab. Force conduction or convection is generated by a fan or something. Okay, so try to do a comparison. For force conduction and convection process, use at least 2 fan speeds. So normally the fan, stand fan, or the normal fan will have a speed. So try to come up with the experiment so that you can uh, evaluate, compare how's the convection or conduction process between speed 1 and speed 2. That are the thing that is required in step 6. Okay, based on the understanding of conduction and convection's calculation formula, come up with a way to estimate the value. Okay, so it can be, so the values can be anything. So not necessarily velocity, pressure, area. So it can be anything related to heat transfer that you'll be used in your investigation. Use the tools around you to assist the estimation. Don't, again I say, don't buy anything. Okay, so whatever things that related to the calculation, so you need to put in the you need to prepare according to step number 7. Okay, again, please don't buy anything, don't waste your money. Okay, so that's what we encourage. Okay, number 8, take 5 points of measurement in each situation for the graph. Because graph you normally have must have few points so that you can draw the proper graph. So take at least 5 measurement points. So maybe it can be at different heights, it can be from the different distance. So you come up with a creative setup. Okay, so that we can see and appreciate. They show you all the calculation involved in the experiment. Make sure you give all the calculations. So measure the time taken to complete all situation for all the measurement point. So naturally you can calculate. Okay, so you can use stopwatch in your smartphone or you can use your watch. So make sure you take a few time between, maybe if a different speed, maybe the heat transfer rate will be different. So take the time. Okay, and calculate the error in the measured and calculated time and fill the table. Yes, so prepare a table. So fill in the table. So what is the difference between the measured and also calculated? So calculated from the formula and measured is from your smartphone or your stopwatch. Okay, so that's number 7, number 9. Then draw the graph. Okay, so you have 4 situation, 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So try to draw a graph between measured time and calculated time for each one of them. Okay, so you can put in one single graph with a different indication, different lines or different colors, or you can draw 4 separate graphs. Okay, number 11, show all the calculation involved in the experiment. So similar like in lab 1. So you need to show all the calculation involved. Okay, and number 12, answer all the questions below. Okay, so questions I already gave, you just need to answer in your lab report. So why you suggest this experiment? Give a logical reason for your selection. So that's our first question. So give 3 precautions involved in the experiment you conducted. So there must be some precautions that you can take. It can be on the measurement side, it can be on the experimental side. So because it's involving it, so make sure you have the proper precautions. So list down the precautions here. Again, see, based on your understanding, how the time of all 4 situations can be doubled naturally. Give a logical answer for your suggestion. So this is something based on your understanding, how to increase the time double naturally. So time double means the process becomes slower. How you can make it in natural way. Okay, so you need to answer that. And number 13, the last one, record the video for the whole experiment and process and explain briefly what you have understood from the e-transfer and why you have selected the experiment. The video should be 1 to 3 minutes long and please show your face in the recording for verification. I think the instructions are clear. So take a video of your experimental, how you conduct the experiment. So the video should be between 1 to 3 minutes maximum. So don't be too long or don't be too short. And make sure you talk and also you show your face. So that we know that you didn't copy from your friend or you take other people's video. Okay, so that's the 13 instructions for the experiment, and all the best. Thank you.